If I can do it for, nope, it's still only 2. Okay, that's fine.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
You got on YouTube, Facebook. I have it on Insta. I haven't gone live yet on Instagram, but Facebook is live already.
Okay. Mm, StreamYard, you reached your first referral click. I don't know. Somebody's clicking on something. I don't know. Okay. News. What's my category though? Um, how to style, movie, anime, action, documentary, family, horror. Nope. Shows, something. Okay, trailers, nothing. Okay, no. Okay. No live. Yeah, that's fine. Public, that's fine. Okay. So, what's your telephone number? I'm putting it in the
424 703
424-703. What else?
8611.
What?
Oh, 8611.
Okay. Okay. Now what? Where are you? Because I don't see you.
You don't see me?
No, I don't. Oh, okay. And then how come I'm small like that? I mean, I'm not on there. Oh, there you go. Okay, let me bring up my teleprompter now then. Okay, good. So we're gonna go back and forth. Okay. So when do we hit live? We seem to be live. So
Yeah, so we're already live on Facebook on my end. The only one I haven't gone live yet is Instagram because that one does automatically
okay, but
go
we
public
shouldn't
right away.
been live yet. I don't know. We live already.
Yeah. Well, Facebook, I mean, it automatically does it. Obviously, to start the stream, you have to start it right away for that one. But regardless, it does automatically save it. So the good thing about this, there is an AI system integrated into it, so it can automatically make the clips for you. So it eases it up, so you can mess around it with it and see which one you like after it does edits on their end.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. So let me check my Facebook and see. 1 second.
You should be able, if you go to the top right corner, it should see, you should press the Facebook on your end, and then it should show your live, remove, and then view on
It's
Facebook.
on there and we talking.
And then same thing on YouTube, it should show view on YouTube.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Are we ready? No, we were not ready. It's 3 more minutes. 3 more minutes. Hello, everybody. We're waiting for everybody to come in to get, some education on what are the steps that are necessary to buying a home. So come on in, invite others.
All right, going live right now on Instagram then. Uh,
Nevea went to sleep, huh?
We're gonna watch the birds first then.
He's got too many distractions, doesn't he? Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's do it. All right.
Okay.
All right. So we're live on Instagram. Let's say here we go.
Okay.
Perfect. We got a couple people on Instagram live on my end. How's it
Okay.
going, Andre? Mateo? Just wait a couple minutes right now.
Okay. So you can run the slides, right? So I'll just tell you next slide. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. It's 7 o'clock. The magic hour. Hello, good evening, everyone, and welcome to From Search to Sold with Soraya and
Saul
Michael.
Frausto, how's it going? Hope everyone
Yeah,
is having a great day today on this
yeah.
Thursday. Beautiful day so far. A little windy, but it's time
Actually, it
to.
was a little cold for me, so
It's
it was
very
kind of
cold.
cold. Yeah, so tonight we're going to simplify the California home buying process for you and walk you through what really happens from the moment that you start searching online to the day that you receive your keys. So we know that buying a home can feel overwhelming for you, right? A lot of paperwork, especially in California, lots of paperwork. But our goal tonight is to make the process feel clear, manageable, and achievable, right, Saul?
Correct, correct. We want to make sure you guys have a good game plan to one start the home buying process and know where you guys are at financially, so that way you guys are viewing homes confidently and you guys are going in there as a strong buyer, knowing that you guys will be able to qualify for a certain amount with the right program as well.
Right. Uh-huh. Um, so one of the biggest misconceptions, you can go to the next slide, please. So one of the biggest misconceptions today is that buyers don't need a realtor because everything is online. Not so, not so, not so. But what buyers quickly discover is that the homes are not the complicated part of the whole process. It's the contracts, it's the disclosures, the negotiations, inspections, and timelines. Those things are where I step in. That's exactly where I step in. Saul, where do you step in?
So on my end, what I do is the qualification part. So I take you from A to Z when it comes to qualifying for a program, which is whether it's a first time buyer program or going onto your second home. So we look at multiple factors on your situation. We go from there and qualify you based on your financial situation.
Right. And because the National Association of Realtors settlement, because of that, the buyers now need a clear conversation up front about how representation works. I have to have that conversation with you prior to taking you out or prior to presenting you or introducing you to Saul and how we as agents are compensated. So tonight we'll explain that in simple terms. We can go to the next slide.
Most definitely.
Okay, so before anyone starts touring homes, okay, you need clarity. That's the first thing that you need. Not just on what you want, but what you truly need. There's a difference. Sometimes buyers get emotionally attached to granite, the countertops, you know, forget to think about the commute time that it will take them to get home from work and, back and forth, the monthly payments, the insurance costs, the HOA fees, the long-term goals. So what do you think that, buyers forget during this process?
Yeah, the big misconception when it comes to this is, I mean, everybody loves to go see the homes. I do too. They're very, very nice. Like you said, the nice countertops, nice kitchen. But the biggest thing to know and understand is knowing where you stand on a financial point. Obviously, the
Definitely.
biggest thing is one, the funds. How much do I have to come in with the down payment and closing costs? And then two
Definitely.
is the monthly payment. How much are we comfortable with that monthly payment on a monthly basis? If we're looking at
Right.
homes that are worth 900K and the monthly payment is around 7K, around that range, and we're comfortable with a 4K payment, it doesn't make sense to look at that type of property if we're not comfortable with the numbers.
No, yeah,
First
yeah.
step is understanding where you qualify, which type of program you can qualify for, and that way we can go with ease looking at these homes, these nice homes that you guys
Yes.
are wanting.
Right. So Saul just said a beautiful house isn't a blessing if the payment steals your peace. Definitely. Okay. So next slide, please. Thanks. So now preparation changes everything. A pre-approval is not just a piece of paper. It tells you, tells the sellers that you're serious, that you're qualified and you're ready to move. Right, Saul?
Most definitely, most definitely. So the misconception on this is, between a pre-qualification and a pre-approval. A pre-qualification is a basic, understanding what you make on a monthly basis without reviewing any documentation or confirming any credit. With a pre-approval, it's a deep understanding whether you're working for a company or self-employed. We look at the last 2 years of documents, whether of taxes, if you're working for a company, and order a verification of employment to better seek to analyze that income and then verify that credit. Obviously, with that pre-approval, it's understanding those two things: that verification of employment, and then obviously verifying the credit to fully understand where you stand on this pre-approval. Keep in mind that pre-qualification is just going based on the on verbal understanding, um, how much you guys are making on an hourly basis, and what's your estimated monthly debts. That's just more just verbal. Pre-approval is actually viewing the documentation, understanding what's going on, and reaching out to you guys' HR to analyze that income. If you guys are working for a company, if you guys are self-employed, then obviously that's a different route that we have to take.
Yeah, see, honestly, it also protects the buyers emotionally. Because I've taken buyers out to properties that they cannot afford. Well, they are just so joyous. We're trying to make an offer. We can't make that offer because the house is more than what you can afford. There's nothing worse than falling in love with that home and then discovering that it's outside of your realistic budget. So we have to be organized in doing something like that. Saul just said it, pre-approval. That means that you have to prove things to him, right? Instead of a
Correct.
qualification or a pre-qualification, then that's just verbal. Now you got to prove it, paper, prove it. Okay.
Correct, correct. And
Yes.
add to that as well, obviously having that pre-approval packet is going to make you look as a stronger buyer to those sellers once you do submit that offer with Soraya as well.
Yes. Okay. So next, please. So now we got to see beyond the staging. One of my favorite sayings is this: don't fall in love with the furniture. Fall in love with the facts. So a home can smell like vanilla candles because we try all the tricks when we're presenting that home. Or, when I have a listing, I'm just, the candles, the environment, baking cookies, and still the foundation might have issues. So you have to be very careful. So can you tell them what we need, like disclosures, inspections? Do you know?
Yeah, obviously depending on the program, whether if it's a non-QM, which is a non-traditional, if it's a FHA or a down payment assistance or a conventional, each program has their own requisitions and requirements for the standard of the property. Obviously, if it's FHA, they're going to be a little more strict, making sure everything's up to par. Obviously, reviewing that inspection, that's going to be with Soraya, see what the condition of the property. Obviously, we do have that appraisal, so meaning the bank will send out an appraiser to see the evaluation of that property in the current market space. Um, so that's going to be the biggest things to see what's going on with the property and see if it can qualify for the certain program that you qualify for. But
Yeah.
obviously, there's always exceptions, and see what each property is different. Each scenario is different. So keep in mind, you guys can always send over that property to us to confirm all details.
Yeah, so you know what? We have things called disclosures. That's where the seller has to disclose all the things that he knows about the property. But getting your inspections is the most important thing. Do not waive that inspection. And do not have your Uncle Freddie or whatever, that knows nothing much about things, go inspect that property for you. I always give you a suggestion or some options on some inspectors, and these are qualified um, uh, um, California certified inspectors that will know exactly what to look for. They're inspecting under the home, they're inspecting the sewage lines, they're inspecting the roof, they're inspecting everything in that home. So do not waive that inspection. A contingency period also is very important in California. That is like your protection. I always call it like, when Superman enters into the phone booth, and he puts on his suit and the whole thing. It protects you. So if you remove your contingency, then it means that you're taking that protection off. Or when you are satisfied with it, everything is fine. The inspections are fine. The seller agreed to repair certain things. You're okay. He's okay. Well, then you can take that contingency or that protection off. Until then, it stays there. It's not removed. I would never let you do that. Okay, so then yeah, removing contingencies would be that. Our job is to help you as a buyer to look past the cosmetic beauty, okay, and understand the full picture before making a major investment. Okay, so let's talk about the offer in the next one. Yes. So writing an offer is part strategy and part protection. That's where I come in. I'm a negotiator. That's what I do best. I negotiate. So it's not about the price, it's about the timing, is about the contingencies, is about the credits, is about the disclosures, about the escrow terms, is about the understanding what makes your offer attractive to the seller. So, I have to negotiate all these things. I have to think about all these things and what the strategy would be. What's the best strategy to be able to win that bid? Or what's the best strategy for you to be able to get that home? So I will negotiate for the seller to do several things, to maybe give you credit or maybe repair certain things. But you need to understand these things, and I will educate you during that process. Okay? So today's market, buyers need to understand what a strong offer is. It isn't about the highest price. So talk about the financing for a little bit. So
Yeah, regarding that portion, when it comes to submitting that offer and getting it accepted, what I do on my end is reach out to the listing agent as well, give them a little details regarding your financial situation, making them aware that everything's ready to go with the documentation, and there won't be any issues going throughout the escrow process.
right.
Keep in mind when it comes to these offers and these properties, obviously we have to make sure that these properties are actually valued at that amount. Like previously said, an appraiser will be sent out to ensure the value is there. If the value is not there, the bank will only lend on the lower, essentially that value. So let's just say we go into a contract at 500K and the value goes in at 450. The bank will only lend on that 450 and not on that 500K as we went into contract. Why? Because it's worth less. They won't allow you to lend more on it since it does not have that value. So keep in mind, the appraiser will determine the valuation of that property for the when it comes to the home buying process, purchasing the home.
Yeah.
Going deeper into it, they will give a what's called a conditional approval during this escrow process. So meaning they will ask us for certain conditions to satisfy the loan. Once all items are satisfied and we have what's called the clear to close, essentially that's when the loan is finally approved and we have final loan docs as well. And that's when you're signing with a notary in person, reviewing all disclosures and final estimates for your home purchase.
Right. Just keeping in mind that it's the art of negotiation and the timing and everything else too. Well, so you just said if it's worth if it's 450, you're not going to write it for 500. But I have done that before, especially when I'm asking for a credit of a certain type. Now it's up to the appraiser to appraise it for the 500,000.
Correct.
For you to get that $10,000 to use it towards a closing costs or something like that, right?
Correct. Correct.
Uh-huh. So yeah. So let's talk about strategic negotiation next. So now, negotiation is where experience really matters. I have 35 years in the business. So sometimes I negotiate repairs. Sometimes I negotiate for credits. In these days, that's where the National Association of Realtors came in, because when we sit down, you and I as a buyer and a realtor sit down to talk about who's going to pay me, well then that's where it comes in. The National Association of Realtors now says that you have the responsibility of paying your buyer's realtor. Okay, so is that it might make or break the deal? Yes, it might, especially if you don't have all of that. So that's where I have to negotiate out of the MLS with the seller or the seller's agent, actually, that it's really with the seller, for him to pay me, instead of you paying me. Okay, so then that is something that you need to look at. That is something that you need to consider. But that could make or break a deal also. Some credits, would be needed where you're asking for repairs. So that's taking down the seller's profit a lot more, right? So we have to be very careful with what we're going to put on that off that inspection report, what we're going to ask for, because we're not going to ask for everything. Okay, those are deal breakers sometimes. If you can get somebody else to fix it, no problem. Do that. Okay, the timelines is a very important thing too. Sometimes we negotiate for peace of mind. Okay, yeah. So a good realtor doesn't just help you to get a house. We help you to protect your future, right, Saul?
Correct, correct. The one thing that we don't want is for you guys to feel uncomfortable and feel, I don't like the home, there's so many issues, and then, I don't like the payment. Obviously, we want to make sure we're squared away and we feel comfortable in all areas, meeting majority of your goals. Obviously, we can't be perfect and reach every single entirety goal, but, reaching at least, 99% of your guys' goals, um, that's to making sure to you guys have that great experience, not on my end but also on Soraya's end. But this is what we do. This is what we help to game plan for you guys to make sure you guys are aware of every situation on not only the real estate side but also on the financial situation on the lending side as well.
Right, right, right. So, yes. So, anyway, we will be able to help you to navigate through this entire process. Okay, let's talk about the California home purchase timeline. Saul, what is one of the biggest fears buyers have? What do you think? What do you think?
One of the biggest fears, I would say, obviously, when it comes to the home buying process, one, worrying over the funds, and then two, how long it's going to take. I would say a lot of people think it's going to take a long time, more like 60 days. But in reality, when it comes to home purchase, it could take anywhere from 14 all the way to 30 days. Um, Obviously, every program is different. Every situation is different. So keep in mind, each loan, each program has a different timeline. But majority of the loans can be closed under 30 days when it comes to purchasing a home. Why is the submitting the EMD or the earnest money deposit a big fear? Right now at the moment, obviously there is sometimes there is wire fraud out there, so there is a lot of scammers. So this is a
Mhm.
fear of buyers that they have. Obviously, they're not knowing where they're sending their funds to correctly, especially um, you know escrow sending out private emails, secured link emails to you guys, so it might be a little scary. Another thing would be the initial disclosures. Obviously, there's many disclosures that protect you as a client applying for a mortgage here in the U.S., and then also, the estimate for the loan. Obviously, the bank sends out a preliminary estimate for standard guidelines to be able to underwrite your guys' file, meaning audit your guys' file, review it, see what questions that they have for you. But that's something that I would say most people have a fear of, just because most people don't know how to explain it, or don't they just receive the email and they're like, "Yo, what's going on?" So that's the biggest fear I would say, on majority of buyers when it comes to that.
Yeah. Yeah, I consider myself a conductor during that time because I'm coordinating different timelines. Okay. I'm coordinating the time that we need. We have a certain amount of days to be able to do this. We have a certain amount of days to be able to send in, the appraisal, to send our proof of our funds, to be able to qualify for the loan. We have like 21 days, so on and so forth, to remove contingencies. All these things have timelines. Therefore, I have to coordinate all of these things, but I also have to be talking to escrow. I have to be talking to Saul, the lender, that we have to be communicating. It's all about communication. And you, as the buyer, have to send us things on time. If we ask for something, don't wait 1, 2, 3 days to send them. We don't want to keep asking you for things. Send them on time, please, so that we don't have to waste time, because time is of essence with this. So
Correct.
this slide really breaks down the process step by step. Once your offer is accepted, we have to inspect, we have to appraise, we have to the underwriter, it has to be underwritten, the escrow milestones, disclosures, and then final approvals are happening behind the scenes. But these take time, and time is of essence. So me as your realtor, and Saul as your lender, and the escrow officer, and the title company will all work together as a team. Okay? Because we are your team, but you've got to be part of this team. Okay? You got to work with us. Okay?
Correct, correct.
Yeah.
Obviously, we have to move on your time. So if you guys send documents late, obviously it is going to delay the process. So keep in mind, if you guys are
Right.
eager and want to make sure that it gets done very quickly or as smoothly as possible, what I do is request all the documents off up front initially, so I can, when I understand your scenario, so that way we're not delaying the process and during the home buy process, and the bank's not requesting us multiple conditions to us, so that way the process is moving smoothly for you guys. So keep in
Right.
mind that's going to be the major factor. Obviously, if there's delays, there is going to be delays. But as long as we can get all the documentation and all disclosures signed smoothly and quickly as possible, then I don't see any errors, or anything going in a mishap happening.
Right.
Mhm.
Right. So yes, Saul is right. If you get all your paperwork in order and you give it everything to him, then we should not have a problem. Okay, so let's go to the final countdown. This is the most exciting part of this process. The final walkthrough is your opportunity to confirm that the home is in the same condition that you agreed to. Did they make the repairs? Is everything in the same condition or better condition than when you saw it the first time? Because this is very important. So you're going to walk through and you're going to look at all the things on inspection that were supposed to be repaired, and all the things that were intact, that weren't broken before you move out, before you get out of that home on that day. Okay. So, talk about signing day. So what happens on that day? Do you know?
Yeah, so most definitely. So once we get the final loan docs, first the clear to close, so meaning the loan has been finally approved. Once we have that, then the final loan docs will get sent out to escrow. Escrow will start preparing them and schedule out the signing with you guys with the notary. You guys can sign in person at the escrow office, or the notary can go to you guys' home, or meet you guys somewhere in the office as well.
Yeah.
So once you
Yes.
guys sign all those items with the notary, sign the grant deed, they will then give you the wire instructions to send over the amount of funds that are needed left, whether it's just only a down payment or along with a portion of the closing costs. Some scenarios you're only coming in with your earnest money deposit, which is the initial deposit to start the process. Depending on the amount, they'll let you know. Along as me, as I will let you know beforehand the amount that you do have to send over to escrow. Once escrow has the funds, they'll send over what's called the EMD receipt. So send over the receipt that you guys sent over the last wire. We'll send it over to the lender along with any what's called PTF conditions, which is prior to funding conditions. So once all prior to funding conditions are satisfied and cleared, by the funder, then they'll go ahead and balance out with the escrow company, the escrow officer, to ensure that we fund. Once we have that funding, that fund confirmation from the funder, at that point they'll request the wire, and then they'll send it out directly to escrow the next day. So once we have the funding confirmation, that means the loan has funded officially, and then the next day will be recorded with the county. So depending what county it is, LA and OC, they will record the next day. If it's the IE area,
The
so
IE.
Riverside County,
Same day.
then we'll be looking at same day
Could be the
reporting,
same day. Yeah.
meaning that we'll fund the loan that same day, and then it will get recorded and recorded with the county that same day as well.
You know, there's something powerful about receiving the keys to a place that belongs to you, right? It's not just a transaction. It's stability. It's legacy. It's where you're gonna have the salsa dancing and the family picnics in the backyard. You're gonna have the barbecues. You're gonna have the merengue back there. You're gonna have the margaritas. You're gonna celebrate back there. These are memories that you're forming. It's legacy, major life milestones. And not only that, this might be the place that you're going to pass on to your children or your children's children, right? So buying a home is so exciting, and we can't wait to help you through this whole process. Okay, so now here's your call to action. Okay, go ahead and tell them, Saul.
So what's your guys' steps now? So if you guys want to accomplish your guys' goals and see where you guys stand, reach out to us via Instagram, DM us via Facebook or YouTube, or reach out to us via our cell. Here is our information right here on both ends for Soraya or myself. Reach out to her or myself to understand what's going on in your life, your financial situation, so making sure you guys are fully approved and understand where you guys are going into the home buying scene. Obviously, if you guys are not ready right now, feel free to reach out to us further on, or hop on the webinar next week. We'll get into more details regarding other programs and other ways you guys can improve your guys' financial situation and reach your guys' home buying goals as well. It is a beautiful accomplishment. It may seem long and stressful, but we are here to help you guys and game plan for you guys, so that way we can make it easy for you guys to accomplish your guys' goals.
Right. Yeah, we know that tonight was a lot of information, but hopefully it helped you help to make the process feel less intimidating. And remember, home ownership doesn't begin when you find the perfect home. It begins when you start preparing for it. Okay, so thank you all for spending this evening with us. Now let us open it up to questions. If you have any, you can type them in, or you could just leave it there in the comments, and we will answer your questions later on. Okay, Saul just said don't forget to come back next week, because we will have. Do you have any questions there? Do you see any?
Any questions, Maya? No, I don't have any questions.
Okay, yeah, so don't forget to come next week. We're always just educating you on this process, because it's something that you need to be educated with. You need to know all of the ins and outs of buying this home, so that you don't feel like it's so overwhelming. And we're going to hold your hands through this. You're going to walk you through this, and trust me, it's going to be a process that is made much easier because you have both of us to help you through this. Okay, so whether you're 6 months away or ready now, we'd love to help guide you. So you can call us, or you can email us, or
call us, DM us,
whatever, whichever way. Smoke signals, smoke signals, whatever it is. Okay. But yeah, thanks for coming on.
All right, then, guys. Well, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Any questions, feel free to reach out.
Yeah. Good night.
Good night.
Bye.